particular to the southwestern part of the Emerald Isle. In fact, we arrive in Castle Island, County Kerry, the home of John Murphy, who in 1748 was responsible for the construction of the Cork-Kerry Straight Road, later to be known as the Butter Road. The road ran from Cork through Mill Street to Killarney. It was at Aubane, near Mill Street, that the enthusiastic community celebrated the 250th anniversary of the building of the Butter Road. Whatever the season, the strikingly beautiful scenery of Aubane never fails to impress. The Christian heritage of the Aubane people is reflected in the ever-peaceful St. John's Holy Well at Mushra. People have lived here for 4,500 years. A people who appreciate their rich cultural heritage. A people who combine traditional and modern methods of farming in such a harmonious manner. The Aubane community always realised the importance of the Butter Road and felt that this all-important scenic route should be promoted far and wide. For years, firkins of butter left Killarney, en route for Cork's Butter Exchange, taking a rest at the Kerryman's Table by Mushra Mountain. It's not too often that we can celebrate the actual birthday of a road, but that is exactly what happened here in the Aubane Mushra area of Mill Street in May 1998. Here we are on the actual Butter Road itself, and I'm very near the very impressive plaque which was unveiled to commemorate the 250th birthday, or the anniversary, of the construction of the renowned Cork-Kerry Butter Road. Aubane Social Club decided to mark this most historic event by organising a weekend of commemoration, and this was in fact a weekend that was totally superb and unforgettable. We're now going to bring you highlights of that very special weekend, which was held from the 1st to the 3rd of May 1998. But firstly, we look back at the preparations and we join the prestigious press conference which was held at Aubane Community Centre. We meet Jack Lane, author of This History of the Butter Road, the source of inspiration for the May 1998 celebrations.
So many changes going on at the moment with the basis of agriculture here that we've got to think about fundamental changes, and I quite agree with you. That's one way we should not go. Tourism is another way, but it's not to be all and end all. But I think that's all I can think of anyway. This is one thing we can develop, and it can lead on to other things. And I think by celebrating this thing in May, we're not just doing it for the sake of doing it. I think we should start putting pressure on the county council to develop it, to put signposts on it, to make it a tourist attraction, to point out its benefits.
At the prestigious press conference held at the Aubane Community Centre, details of the May celebrations were outlined.
Maybe Tom will put you off by his menu.
Guests were treated to refreshments in the style of the 18th century. Crew beans, homemade wine, potato cakes, maize bread and fresh butter were served to an appreciative audience. The press conference resulted in a great deal of media attention. One of the most memorable pictures to appear in newspapers was that of Noreen Kelleher and Ty Crowley, dressed in 18th century costume, walking with a firkin of butter along the Butter Road. A most impressive programme of events was organised by the dedicated community. For the following several months, a totally committed core group met twice weekly to organise the truly historic May event. Wonderfully skilled craftsmen had the central monument and the plaque ready in good time for the 1st of May 1998. The much anticipated weekend had arrived. Aubane was ready to welcome the world. And Mill Street Pipe Band had the honour to begin the Friday evening proceedings. chairman of the organising committee, John Sheehan, who spoke the opening words.
A gwine úsle, ilig agus a carde. Is mór an Dumsa. Mar cá héirlacht club sóisialta na Aubane. Fír gwyn fáilte ara roir go léir. Don oscail, official seo. Ag cumóra, gá céad go léir blian, móir an imime. Ladies and gentlemen, honoured guests and dear friends, it is a proud moment for us in the Aubane Social Club to have reached this day. We are, as you know, a tiny community without school, shop, pub, post office or creamery. But we have a centre, this building here behind me, the former National School. There is one thing in this community has, and that is the most valuable of all, spirit. The spirit to get up and do it ourselves. Jack Lane's book, 250 Years of the Butter Road, gave us the inspiration. And since last September, we have laboured to reach this day. The Butter Road, or properly named the Straight Road, came into existence because of the need to link Cork and Killarney. And the enormity of the task 250 years ago is difficult to comprehend. In an age without mechanical diggers, tar or chipping, it seems an impossible task to tackle mountain and bog with a pick and shovel. For the best part of 250 miles, and to build 9 large bridges and 15 small ones. It was all done in 8 years, and it would frighten any of today's county councils or road authorities. Yet, John Murphy of Castle Island took on and completed this enormous task. So, as we open our weekend, I would ask the chairman of our Leader Hall, Mr. Derry Fitzpatrick here, to unveil a plaque here and just to say a few words for us. Derry. Thank you, John.
Reverend Canon, distinguished guests, it's a great pleasure for me to unveil this plaque. I must say I was very intimidated tonight when I came here and saw all these fellas with beards and what have you, fellas I knew before, and I couldn't recognise, especially John there. I was looking at him and I was wondering who he was, but I assume there's a valid reason for that. Now, as John mentioned, IRD Duhallow has a great association with the Aubane community here. I wish to congratulate John and Noreen and their excellent committee and all their friends who they roped in from Mill Street and other regions to put all this together. It's a great credit to them, and I hope that this is only the start of a great weekend for them, and I would hope that this is something that will continue into the future, and they deserve great credit for all their efforts. So now I'll unveil the plaque and wish them all the best for the weekend. Thank you very much.
Blessed with beautiful summer weather, from the Aubane Community Centre location, we proceed to the magnificent setting at Mushra, where an enormous enthusiastic crowd of people had gathered for the official unveiling of the monument and also a special plaque. Stewarding of traffic was excellent, and within a short time the formalities of the evening had begun. Now let us join the Mill Street Pipe Band as we are led along the Butter Road to the Kerryman's Table. time to hoist the tricolour. Committee member Seamus Buckley welcomed many visitors and explained the significance of the three flags.
We have our tricolour and our European flag, and the one on the left is the Aubane flag.
Appropriately, traditional Sugan chairs were provided for dignitaries attending this unique occasion.
Reverend Canon, ladies and gentlemen, welcome you all here this evening to this wonderful occasion here at the Kerryman's table. Thanks be to God for the fine weather, because 8 months of hard work and planning has gone into this. Well, after that 8 months you can see the work that's done. This beautiful monument has been erected, and I don't know whether the stonemason is here or not. I hope he is. Michael O'Callaghan, you can take a bow for the fabulous work you have done. Now, we aren't going to bore you because we have some more celebrations going on later on. And without further ado now, I will call on our sponsors for here tonight for the plaque, our co-sponsors, Dairygold, the chairman of Dairygold, Mr. Dennis Cronin, to unveil our plaque. Dennis. Right. I'll call on Canon Manning just to bless the stone before Dennis speaks, please.
And first of all, I'd like to join with all of you in thanking the committee that has done such a marvellous work in erecting this. And I hope that the community spirit that they have generated, that it will grow and stay in the place. And it's a historic road, as has been said. In fact, I can, even where I come from myself, way back in West Kerry, almost 200 miles away, I remember hearing stories about my great-great-grandfather. He was come along bringing the butter to Cork, and 2 firkins of butter and a long saddle, and come home with gold in a little bag. And I'm sure it is many a bag of gold that passed by in this road. And we pray for the behind it all, the God who made this place, who made nature around us. It's the first day of summer, May Day. And we pray to that God now to bless all of us, to bless our ancestors who have gone before us, and we put our trust in him.
Now, we set about organising it.
We put these prayers before you, Lord God. We ask you to be with all of us as we bless this monument, and we pray that the success of this work will stay with us and the community spirit will grow in the area. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
I will now call on the Chairman of the Irrigation Cooperative Society, Dennis Goran, just to say a few words.
Mr. Chairman, Reverend Father, ladies and gentlemen, well, first and foremost, and unveiling this plaque here this evening, may I say a very sincere word of congratulations and thanks to the initiative taken by the Chairman and Committee here in marking this historical occasion. I'm sure, without I delving into what happened in the past and how things evolved and developed and brought us to the present day, there's no doubt about it, there's an awful lot of history in the past 250 years. And I suppose being involved in a business that's reflecting what was started in the bottle road and the activities that went into bottle making, the dairy industry, there's no doubt about it, it has moved and changed an awful lot in that particular time. But I suppose, as Reverend Father has mentioned, there's no doubt about it, let us spare a thought for the people of the past who certainly, I suppose in their own way, they enjoyed what they did and they certainly got a certain amount of satisfaction and pleasantries from it. Nevertheless, from the pure physical effort, it was a difficult way and difficult livelihood to make. But that was the position at that particular time. There probably was no other way to do it other than the way they did it. But what they did was that they have brought us and they have helped us in many ways by the initiatives taken by them at that particular time to give us some of the comforts that we have in the present life. And again, may I say to those people who are past and gone for a long, long time, may God rest their souls and thank them very, very sincerely for what they had done for us and maybe from the people that went before us. It's tremendous that you have a committee here in Aubane that can mark the occasion like this and commemorate it and give us a sense of how things happened in the past. I think it's great, and as Reverend Father has mentioned, I think marking the occasion and giving the sense of pride to the locality, and probably it's in years to come that this will be commemorated again by some other marking of the occasion. But I think it's great that we maintain the tradition, particularly in rural areas with so much historical factors attached to it as we have here. So again, may I say in unveiling this plaque this evening, to congratulate all concerned, to thank you very, very sincerely for the initiative taken, and I've no doubt that you and yours will be rewarded for your efforts. May I thank you very, very sincerely and wish you all the best of luck for the weekend and in the future.
Michael Kelleher, a native of Aubane, now a resident in New York, travelled to Ireland especially for this event. It was Michael who unveiled this sponsored plaque at the Kerryman's table. Monsignor Manning, the parish priest of Mill Street, blessed the plaque at the famous Mushra setting.
In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
The historic occasion afforded people the opportunity to meet and to chat with each other and to photographically record the unique event. Michael Kelleher then addressed the happy gathering.
I could not join in the work, so I decided to help out with this plaque. It always seemed to me that the Kellerman's table should have a plaque to explain what it was, so I thought that was the best contribution I could make. For those of you here that do not know me, I just want to explain. I left Aubane 45 years ago. First to England, next Canada, and final New York, which is my home base. I want to congratulate all the people involved, and I hope they all go on to do even better things in the future. Today, Aubane is alive. Aubane is up and coming. Aubane will live forever. Long live Aubane. Goodbye for now. Hope to see you all in a few years. Thanks for the warm welcome.
It was now time to leave for the nearby exquisite Mill Street Country Park, where a most informative book entitled Aspects of the Butter Road, edited by John Lehan and Friends, was to be officially launched by Maura Walsh of IRD Duhallow.
After many hours of discussion, we decided we'd produce a book on aspects of life on the Butter Road. A local company and the likes of IRD that can come together and assist us, and with due recognition, I think Johnny's have been very forthcoming, and we thank him most sincerely. Now, I will call on the manager of IRD, Maura Walsh, to speak and launch the book for us. Maura.
Thank you very much indeed, John. It's not my intention to hold you up very long. I see there's excellent entertainment in the corner that will be far more enjoyable than listening to me. However, I couldn't let the occasion pass without drawing your attention to this little book. Now, it's maybe small in size, but packed into it is a wealth of information that will be of interest to everybody, old and young. Of interest to older people because it will remind them again of what life used to be like and the type of things that they engaged in. And I think the younger people to give them a glimpse of what life was like in the past. On another note, I also noticed that poor John Murphy died destitute and broke from his work in these parts. Thanks to IRD Duhallow and the EU, I don't think the same fate will befall myself. So, buy the book. It's an excellent read and a lovely memento. Congratulations to all, and I formally launch this book.
Jerry O'Regan of O'Regan's Mills, Mill Street, sponsored the book and presented the first copy to Jerry Sheehan, proprietor of Mill Street Country Park. Editor John Lehan presented further copies to Professor Chris Sinnott of UCC and Cork's Butter Museum.
Mr. Chairman, if I could just say one word of thanks to Professor Sinnott, because he gave us a kickstart in that little book, and to get up off our feet and do something about it. And we as such have no experience in writing. We're, I suppose as Sean McCarthy would say, we're just scribblers. But it was the initiative that he gave us in his article on the history of the Cork Bother Museum and Bog Bother that gave us a footing to go ahead and do something about this. So thank you again, Professor Sinnott.
Well, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, as the Chairman said, I'm here purely by accident. And the hardest job I had to find that night was where in the name of God Aubane was. But with the aid of a few in-laws and God knows what else, I arrived there. And I have to say I'm delighted I did. I've been back many times since, and to be able to contribute to this book was a privilege. The fact that it was largely sponsored by Jerry here on my left. We made an effort to educate Jerry many years ago in UCC, and as future has turned out, I think we made a bloody good job of it. I'll even shake hands with him after that. He wasn't the first one. There was another brother came before him, and we succeeded with both of them, I think. So it's a privilege to come back here and to be able to talk to you tonight. Now, as Jerry will tell you, anytime I get on my feet, I talk for at least 55 minutes. But I've been told tonight about 3 is enough. So I'm quite happy to cut it down to that. I'm here basically because of my interest in the Butter Museum in Cork. The other end, the main end of the Butter Road. And if you're not aware of it already, I have to point out to you that the Cork Butter Museum is located in Shandon, in the old butter market buildings. I think it's well worth a visit. Quite a lot of Tony O'Reilly's money has gone into it in setting it up. We would acknowledge with thanks the amount of money that he has contributed, well up in the hundreds of thousands. And I think it is a very well organised museum. It's well worth a visit for anybody who wants to look at equipment that was used to manufacture butter on the farm over the years, to look at the Butter Road network, to see some of the bog butter that I spoke about in one of those articles, and finally to have a look at a very excellent video which was made to, if you like, accentuate the role of the modern butter market, which would be the people in Bord Bangna. So there's a very interesting video there which shows the development of Bord Bangna's role over the years. Quite a lot of old footage of the old creameries and the donkeys and carts and the ponies and carts and everything like that. So anyone who's interested in farming, I think they would be, a visit there would well repay the few hours investment of time. And we hope to see you there. We need a few people coming in to finance the place. So it is my privilege to be associated with this book and with this event. And I thank the people, John and his committee, for inviting me to take part in it. I wish you the very best of enjoyment over the next couple of days, and hopefully all the events will go as well as tonight. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Professor Sinnott. Now, I can't finish up without having a couple of words from the man that caused all the hassle. I overheard somebody saying to his mother the other day, to know if we twisted his neck the day he was born, wouldn't he be a great relief to us? You know, but having said that, we won't twist his neck now. I'd like to call on the man that wrote the book about the Butter Road and that set all this in motion, and he mentioned it last year after we launched the book. So we've taken him up on it, and I'd like just to say for a few minutes, the author of the Butter Road, Mr. Jack Lane.
Thanks, John. I've got a bit of a bad conscience because I made this suggestion. I never thought it would lead to this. I'm delighted it did, but I know people have spent thousands of hours, literally thousands of hours. They've lost weight. John Bill there has lost a stone, I believe. people have lost sleep. We should be looking at the future. We've had 250 years. I think there's a new lease of life at the road, and I think what's happening here tonight, for instance, I said to a few people last week in London, I was in a school, and we started talking about what are we doing for the weekend. And when I had to say, I'm going to this Butter Road commemoration, this teacher pipes up and says, my grandmother used to travel that road. I said, yeah, how do you mean? And because she used to always say, that she'd knit a pair of one sock on the way and a sock on the way back. And the Butter Road always produced a pair of socks. Now, in the mid, now, so we have a great asset. We have a great asset. An awful lot of people know about this road. It was there for so long, and it put bread and butter on the table for people. It saved people's lives. It literally did. And I think it has made such an impact that we don't even know of. That all we need to do is tap it, and we'll have a great tourist attraction, a bit of living history, great scenery, and a good, proper road to travel on. And I think this is a perfect way to set off this. Let's get our tourist people involved in it, publicising it, and it'll be marvellous for everyone, and it'll be as good as a tourist road as it ever was as a Butter Road. Thanks very much.
Sean O'Riordan introduced an international dimension to the evening when we met some visitors from abroad.
And you came to see the Butter Road tonight?
Yes, very lucky. I'm very happy.
Very happy to be at the Butter Road opening.
Yes.
Yes. And your brother Takeshi?
Takeshi, yes.
Yes, Takeshi. He's learning English also.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Takeshi's English not very good yet.
I know.
No.
Maybe say.
Takeshi might say hello.
Yeah.
Takeshi will say hello.
Hello.
Yes. Say hello.
I love Irish.
Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed, Kuniko. Thank you indeed.
The memorable occasion is recorded for posterity. Our thanks to the ever-popular Mill Street set dancers.
And that is the man himself, and we're very thankful to Jerry Sheehan, who has made his beautiful premises available here to us tonight. So, Jerry, I'd like to say a few words, please, to us.
Thank you, Tom. I've already received a book, the first book, I believe, first copy of the history of the Butter Road. And as I said already, I was very privileged to receive this book. And particularly so because I came into this area in 1973, and I've been closely associated with the people of the Aubane and the Aubane Social Club ever since. And I'm delighted that there's such a large crowd here at the the launching of the book this evening. And I'm particularly pleased also that that not alone is the Aubane Social Club making a big name for itself, but I hope also that this park here will benefit from the activities of the Aubane Social Club in the future. And between us both, I hope we can make a big contribution to the economy of the local area. Thanks very much, Sean.
Right, and the next person I'd like you now to speak to is Pat Keller of Creelta. Creelta have been very accommodating to us. Pat O'Halloran, my apology, always I call you Keller because you're very like a Keller. That's right. Pat O'Halloran is here, and I like Pat will just say a few words. We're very indebted to Pat because they made the ground available. We're very indebted to Creelta, and only for them really it would not be what it is tonight. Pat, will you say hello to us, please?
Thank you very much, Tom. Creelta, on behalf of Creelta, I must say that we're delighted to be associated with this, and I must congratulate the committee on a terrific job of work done in a very, very short time. I wish them all the very best for the future and hope that they will go from strength to strength. Thank you very much.
Toast to that brave Michael David, far from the lovely sweet banks of the Main.
Tom Maney now introduces us to Brigitte and Pascal Froissart, who travelled from central France especially for this unique event.
So we're trying to stretch the butter road all the way to France. And we're absolutely delighted to be here and to see that it's such a success. And the music is lovely and the whole crowd is very big. So we're delighted to be here, and we really hope that the butter road is a success now and everybody will know about it. Now, the house we're in is very old, and we really hope, we have this idea that maybe it was there because the butter road was built. And we want this house to live for years and years and years, and we wanted to stay there on the road, as we cherish the house very much, as much as we cherish Aubane and the Aubane people. And we just want to be there because we just love the place and the people. Pascal, it's your turn.
And we're actually very much interested in the history of the road itself. And today, as a matter of fact, we drove all the way from Aubane to Blarney, you know, on what was supposed to be the old Cork Road, the Butter Road. And we're very, very impressed, you know, how straight the road was, and you know, the amount of work which was put into that road. And it was a really impressive sight, you know, and we really enjoyed driving, you know, that road as far as Blarney. And it was a very special day for us and a great opportunity for us to be here. You know.
Another crowd of whom I'm proud I did not mention yet. They are the Mac and Taurig boys, those lads I'll ne'er forget. When I'm far from home, far o'er the foam, my memory still will last, as if carved in marble stone beside the quarry cross. Farewell unto the blacksmith's forge, where oft I used resort. Farewell unto my comrades all, with whom I used to sport. Farewell to you, my mother dear, to every lad and lass, and a fond farewell to all who dwell beside the quarry cross.
The sound of Coltis Kjoltori Éireann, Rock Chapel, coordinated by Jack Roach. We now pause to go back in time. Note the price of the banquet ticket, not £17.50, but rather £17.48. The location is the elegant Duhallow Park Hotel, some 10 miles from Mill Street. The people truly entered into the spirit of the occasion, dressing in the style of the 18th century. Hotel proprietor Frank Healy and his excellent staff had the banquet hall wonderfully prepared for the historic occasion. There was a peasant's table, a landlord's table, and several tables for hundreds of guests. There were 3 special menus, which included such delicacies as fresh nettle soup and the choicest Mushroom Mountain venison steak, as well as maize cake and potato cake.
Ladies and gentlemen, could we have your attention for a moment, please?
Time, 1st of May 1748. Ireland is a downtrodden, depressed nation. Save for those who live in the great houses and their friends. The penal laws are being vigorously enforced, and no one is allowed to practice their religion openly. In the counties of Cork and Kerry, there is great excitement and anticipation, as work has just begun on a turnpike road from Cork to Ristole. This road should greatly enhance the future of the area for trade and business, giving easier access to the busy port of Cork. John Murphy, Castle Island, has secured the contract to build the road, and to celebrate his good fortune, he decided to throw a banquet. He has invited the local dignitary and some peasants. John Murphy and his wife are sharing the top table with the local landlord, his wife and 2 children, the local member of Parliament, and of course the landlord's agent. The landlord's agent is very caring of his master. He is his eyes and ears, always announcing the landlord wherever he went. The people at the top table are well used to banquets, but it is new to the peasants, and they don't know what is in store. It is time for the banquet to start. The guests have arrived, and first to be seated are the peasants.
entrance. Be seated. Be seated.
Attention, attention. I rise to welcome you all. Butler, will you convey to the kitchen to bring forth the food, please?
Come, all you loyal comrades, come listen for a while till I relate the praises of a spot in Erin's Isle. 'Tis there I saw the daylight first, when round me it did dawn, on that lovely little valley, round the lane of sweet Aubane. To leave that spot will break my heart, to cross the raging main, and to leave behind my parents kind, whose tears will fall like rain. When we land on the American shore, there'll be cheers by one and all for those brave young rattling heroes from the lane of sweet Aubane. There is many a handsome colleen around those pleasant glens, their voices sweet, melodious, you'd hear the valleys sing. They'll ring around the valley from the dark till early dawn, those pretty handsome colleens from the lake in sweet Aubane. So all you loyal comrades, come listen to me for a while, till I relate the praises of a spot in Erin's Isle. 'Tis there I saw the daylight first, on that lovely little valley, on the darling little valley, round the lake of sweet Aubane.
The very fine voice of renowned singer Sean O'Shea, accompanied by Dan Coakley, in the style of the 18th century.
Pull the mountain dew. From island green, still from Wisdom Riley, away with hills and pure all hills of the pagan Christian Arthur. Something up your coat will bring you from the rain all mountain dew. She answered me most daintily, "Nathan, you more teach me. I fear you are a raking of the wig ahead of me. Indeed, I am no raking, no straight the spread of shot. I'm a pupil of Jack Leahy, still like a pony in Muffler. So no, so now the body in the ball is the battle, so that's the stuff they more.
We note the priest on the run hearing confessions.
Savannah Stocky man up of Branham Bay, come here, lad. Ye maids of Duhallow who are anxious for courting, a word of advice I will give unto you. Go down to Bantier to the athletic sporting and hand in your name to the club committee. 'Tis there you will see any sketch in the programme and the carriage you see coming over the hill and down through the valleys and dales of Kilcorny with our own darling sportsman, the mountain rambling for roving for football or sporting, drinking down porter as fast as you'll fill. In all your days roving, you'll find none so jovial as that Muskerry sportsman, the Baltady Quill.
Order. I rise with trepidation to speak to you with such a august company. I welcome our local landlord, Sir John. I'm greatly honoured to have you be with us. Also, his local MP, Sir Henry Wallace. I'm honoured with your guest. And thank you for all the work you have done for me. When I received this contract to build the Turnpike Road from Cork to Killarney, I decided I should share my good fortune with some of my friends. So I decided I'd give a banquet. And I was thrilled that an agent could also come. And of course, a few friends thrown in as well. Now, I would like Sir John to address you all. Sir John.
Thank you, John. It gives my wife Penelope and myself great pleasure to be invited here tonight in sharing your great success in being awarded this prestigious contract, John. We wish you every success and good luck. So, my agent will be calling on you very, very shortly, reviewing your rent and your terms. And I'm quite sure he'll negotiate a very satisfactory rent.
More rent.
Yes, it will be more rent. What do we expect?
More rent.
You're here all night and this gentleman had invited my wife and myself and my family. And these other gentlemen here.
We are paying for it.
You made a disgrace of yourselves all night.
No, I've seen a man who've just fallen in arrears with his rent, and who's most uncooperative here tonight.
Point him out to me. Captain of Yeoman, arrest that man and have him brought before me.
Please, my lord! Please, please, have mercy!
Get out of here!
My wife is making our 5th child, and my 2 cows have died! Please, have
Get
mercy!
him out of here! Get him out of here! Get away from here! You're whinging here all night! Get out of here! Penelope and myself had a decent holiday all year! Get out of here!
Mám bhailachtar sa hiarda, mám bhailachtar da lí, go dipper da barí, agus go dipper da ba, le agar an ochris, go dacha tú féna cana bhéisc, agus go bhaid tú básig paríl, agus go bhiúcha na brechan lia, da húlas da ceann, agus go níosa na franking da tlósa, a smistir ráir lumnach.
Peace, 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 peace. I was ordained a priest 35 years ago by the order of Melchizedek in Paris. For 25 of those years, I have travelled Ireland trying to spread the word of God. I want all you people to do the same. There is a price in my head, and I've been in hiding for years. You spread the word of Christ at every opportunity. Will you do that, please? Ireland is divided at the moment, and it is God's wish that in future and in time, all women and men will spread the word of Christ without fear and without any invasion from a foreign people. Tomorrow at midday at Mushra Rock, I will be saying Mass. I invite you all to come along. Please bring your friends. I will be baptizing children, and I will be preparing couples for marriage. I will now give you my blessing. In nomine Patris et Spiritus.
The red coats are coming, the red coats are coming, the red coats are coming.
Come on, ladies, fast. Come on, ladies, fast. Come on, ladies, what is fast? Come on, ladies, what is fast? Come on, what's going on here? Come on, ladies, what's going on here? Come on, ladies, come on, ladies, what is fast? Come on, ladies, get out, there's been a roadie. Come on, peasants, out. Come on, ladies, come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. Out. Out, peasants, you're unrooted. Go forward. Get out. Come on, ladies. Come on, ladies. Get out, peasants. Come on, ladies.
The pageantry script had been written by Tom Meany and Ty Crowley and had been marvellously performed by the Banquet Drama Group.
The keelers, the skimmers, the churns, and the spades, when they all worked together, the firkin they made. And
from 6-8 years at clashing dances and stations, I heard the old folks singing all these old songs, and I was fascinated with them. So 50 years later, we got an idea that we'd record all this stuff and we had a concert, and we have all this thing on tape at the moment. But
I'm sitting watching the coal fires burning, my heart and thoughts, they are far from here. In fancy's wings, they are returning to where Cork's dear old peaks appear. There is something here on the shelf before me, and oh, what rapture my heart it fills. What a flood of memory it brings o'er me, a sod of turf from the Bogrook Hills.
It was on a fine summer's morning, and I going to Drishan for some lime. The birds in each grove sang most charming, sweet nature being all in its prime. When a nice-looking, bright-looking, fair one, perchance on my way I did meet, her beauty enticed me completely. She's that lovely, nice maid of Mill Street.
Don't worry, Nora, he said, wouldn't it be a lot better if I didn't come back for another couple of hours? Well, he turned to the blocker and he said, let me see the back of you out the door. And I tell you, the blocker went out that door fast.
There were so many poets in that area, and they wrote so many beautiful songs and poems in praise of the area and in praise of its inhabitants, as we know from Baltic Quill.
Though far away I am today from scenes of boyhood days, across the foam to make a home in far Los Angeles. But ere I close my eyes tonight, my heart it will be drawn to the home and friends I left behind on the hills around Ryland.
A flavour there of the Scurriucht by the wonderfully dedicated Ahena Heritage Group, introduced by Barry O'Brien, and so to the Toomey brothers, who are providing marvellously lively music for the banquet dance that continued until the early hours. And of course it was so very important to visually record the unforgettable event, when people had stepped back in time, dressed in the costumes of the 18th century, even growing beards to further authenticate the period.
And friendships found no wealth beyond, and a love that lives always will make our home beside your foam, my own dear Galway Bay. My young bonny banks and my young healing hills we view, and the moon coming out in the gloaming. All together now. Now you'll take the high road, and I'll take the low road, and I'll be in Scotland before you. For me and my true love will never meet again on the bonny, bonny banks of Loch Lomond.
The final day of the historic weekend commenced with Mass being celebrated by Father Declan O'Connor at the Aubane Community Centre. In splendid weather by early afternoon, enormous crowds were beginning to arrive, eager to view the vast range of traditional crafts. A very impressive special marquee had been constructed, within which one could view the many interesting activities. From the displays of spinning and weaving, we view the traditional art of curing bacon. And we meet John Joe Leader and Jerry Kelleher. When there's enough salt in the water for curing the bacon, the egg floats. This is called pickle, which is added to the salted bacon in the barrel and left there for some weeks until the bacon is fully preserved. The art of weaving, milling, and basketry were all wonderfully illustrated. The coppersmith was there, and there was great interest in the art of the harness maker. And of course, the butter maker was there, with some fresh butter being made on site and samples being offered for tasting. And butter was made available for sale by the pound. we note the buttermilk. Meanwhile, outside, John Fleming's thatched house and Danjo Spillan's horse and cart were most popular with the young people. Sales of ice cream were terrific on such a warm, sunny day. It was uplifting to hear the sound of laughter on this happy day.
We might get a hot in that video sometime.
The cow and the butter road are clearly associated, so it was indeed appropriate that rare breeds of cattle were brought on the day.
The Mile, the Boreac, the Kerry and the Dexter. So now we'll have a look at them individually. This cow here is a male. Their distinguishing features are that they are black and red. They have a distinctive white stripe along the back and they are naturally polled. They are a recognised breed in Ireland and there's quite a number of them in Northern Ireland. At the moment there are very few in the Republic, but we would hope to increase that number. Right. This cow here is a Drummond. She is her distinctive feature is a white stripe on the back. The name itself means the cow with the white back. They traditionally this cow here is called the Boreac, which means the striped cow. She's her distinguishing features are black and red colour pattern. Again, she's an old breed that was found in the South Kerry, West Cork area. There are very few of them left today, and our group, we hope to conserve them and increase their number. That's it, I think. There are two other breeds, the Dexter and the Kerry, which we had hoped to bring here today but couldn't for various reasons. Again, they are representative of all the breeds that were around the time of the butter run.
The ancient art of flail thrashing was expertly demonstrated. Here we see the grain has been separated from the straw. A pastime that is nearly extinct, the game of pitch and toss.
Ladies, honourable gentlemen and honest folk of Aubane, give it me, my humble self, great pleasure to introduce one of the original trustees of this great venture.
I, John Murphy of Castle Island aforesaid, do propose to undertake and make a turnpike road from the liberties of the city of Cork, beginning at Ahanabui, through Mill Street in the county of Cork to Shannon Mill in the county of Kerry. And from
One of the highlights of the Sunday was the all-absorbing pageant reenacting life as it used to be during the Butter Road era. Here we meet the road worker with an actual original stone measuring box. And now we meet the farmer handing over the firkin of butter to the carman, who in turn would be taking it to Cork's Butter Exchange.
Today, I quote Sonny Buckley's famous poem, "O Mushera Mountain, how proudly you rise. Your summit is piercing the blue of the sky. You stand like a king o'er his army at dawn, overlooking that lovely sweet vale of Aubane."
Cork's Butter Exchange Band added greatly to the atmosphere of the special day, as did Hanny Lane, who was cutting the scalloons. The carman is on his way home from Cork.
About the highwayman. Call the red coats, call the red coats. Our poor highwayman, street, and from there on to Cork. The penalty for highway robbery or road robbery at the time was hanging.
I don't know, but Brown took my money. I know what they do.
Where are the red coats now?
But I don't know, they haven't their own. That's
What's
all
your
the own
name?
dead.
No.
I have nothing, so what can I do
I'm
myself?
ruined. I'm ruined.
I have nothing. Forward. Didn't you see it happening?
How we will get after the red coats again?
What were you doing? We were there all evening. We were to sing it.
I will waiting for you.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you very much.
Now I'm sure this story was told and many times around the fires on the dark nights.
The red coat got it.
You're a gentleman.
That's it. £0.5 was it?
£0.5. Did you mind the nails?
I did.
That's the firkin of
that. There are the messages are there.
All right, mind it the next time now.
Right. And if you keep your eyes open, see what you see them.
I told you they were coming.
And as the stories were told, I'm quite sure that the spirit of Simon Brown, they spoke roaming the heather of Mushera Mountain. Some say his ghost is still with us, even now. If it is, what better day to appear than today? I have never seen the ghost myself, but there are people who swear that it does exist. They did not agree with the robberies of the shootings. There was a lonesome funeral, and church authorities who would be reluctant to give him a Christian burial. I wonder if poor Mrs. Brown had to pay a toll as she returned with Simon's body. According to the Act, the toll for an ass and cart was 2 old pennies, or in our money, £8.33. What it is in equals, I leave you to figure out. But despite moments of great drama and the sadness of life in general, it still went on. Just, there was always work then for a cooper. Those days are gone, we now have plastic. But the woman of the house was still busy. She had her spinning to do from the wool of the sheep, and she had her spinning wheel and sat hours working on the spinning wheel, turning sheep's wool into thread. And then she would, in due course, turn this into knitted stockings, which would keep feet warm and look after the men of the house who would be out working. He would have his scythe or his reaping hook, and he would be cleaning around the edge of the field, and he would have somebody looking after it and making sheaves. The scythe in those days was the combined harvester of today, with the sheaf bound by the women again, stooped, made into stacks, and brought back in harvest time into the haggart, where now it would be a flail rather than a thrashing machine. The thrashing machine would come later. The flail was an awkward and difficult thing to use. You've seen it across the way over. They took out the grain. It was always done out of doors. The wind would take the chaff away, and the grain would then be gathered up and taken to the mill to be ground into oatmeal flour and made into the cakes which would be cooked in bastarels. But
The old traditional way of saving the hay enthralled all who observed these men as they went about their work in such a wonderful manner. To the delight of the young children, Barney had arrived.
Standing outside with Papa, and then the next big before the snow stops, get here. And one more verse. One second on the verse.
Here the skilled farrier demonstrates in such an expert manner the shoeing of a horse. Within the marquee, dedicated committee members served delicious refreshments throughout the day. Meanwhile, outside, the results of a special art competition were being announced.
Roll, please. Bláthnaid O'Donoghue. Now, they are absolutely terrific winners, and to have reached even the short list of this section was a terrific achievement.
An amazing weightlifting event was to follow. Con Griffin of Rylan attempted to create a world record by lifting 56 pounds in each hand 17 times.
Order. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, Ronald's record. Come on, another one. 17.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Don't let grass grow on it, gentlemen. Come and beat it. I didn't make this a record to hang on to for the rest of my life. Come along, try it.
A number of sporting people took up the challenge, but although they made some valiant attempts, it was to no avail.
Just pull them up. Straight up they must come. Here for trying. We're trying one with two hands. Otherwise I'm sitting in the weight back. Bend your knees now. Okay, now move your hands back. Attempting it, I'll dig the hole and bury you. Come on, Willie. Straight up. No. Okay, give the man a big hand. Thank you, Mick.
All agreed that Con Griffin was the undisputed champion. Blarney Walking Club were given a royal welcome as they had walked all the way from Cork to Aubane. And there's still some adrenaline left for a final dance in the marquee on the Sunday night. It's been said that Dennis Kelleher of Aubane has been responsible for the appearance of the Mama ghost on the night. I wonder. What a truly magnificent weekend, I think you'd agree. We hope we have given you some insight into the importance of the renowned Cork-Kerry Butter Road. So from the very famous Kerryman's Table, we bid you farewell as we continue our travels along the famous Butter Road. Slán is Banach.